Next thing I would like to do is to connect the panels to the motherboard. It is kind of difficult to show what is going on. So when I open the user manual, so the bottom part is a HLED and top part's PLED and reset and power and SW buttons. So following the user manual, I'm going to connect these panels to the motherboard. So I'm done with connecting all the panels to the motherboard. And next thing I would like to do is to connect the fans to the motherboard. The fans can be connected to here and there. Bottom fan can be connected to the bottom parts. However, top fan cannot be connected to the top parts because of the length of the cable. So when I open the case, I'm going to rotate the fan by 90 degrees so that the cable come out through the top hole. I have untightened all of the screws and rotate the fan, and I can take the cable come out through the top hole and tighten the screws. And do not tighten a screw really hard at one time. I just recommend that you just tighten the screws slowly and step by step. Both cables come out, and bottom fans cable we go to this part, and top fans cable go to that part. The fans cable came out, and this cable goes to this port. And do not worry about where to put the cable. Due to the shape of the cable, this cable can only go one port on that side of the motherboard. The bottom fans cable will go to this port. Here the same things are applied. This cable can only go to a port in this area of the motherboard. We have another fan top here. This cable will go to this port. And next thing I would like to do is to install the CPU cooler. The one I use here is H80i V2 CPU cooler. I'm going to install CPU cooler like in this way. Front fan take air from outside, top fan take air from inside. So this cooler take air from inside too. so that we can have a balanced system. So I'm going to install the CPU fans like this. Here, the location of the fan is really important. So it's better to install like in this way. The installation of the CPU fans is well described in the user manual. I'm going to follow this instruction. The installation of CPU fans is done. For the CPU cooler, so at the beginning of this video, we install the CPU mounter, and there are 4 holes. So I'm going to put these holes to the mounter. Find these nuts, and one thing you might want to remember is do not tighten these nuts with a tool. Just like use hand to tighten the CPU cooler to the motherboard. Next thing we want to do is to connect these cables to the fans that we installed to the CPU radiator. So just connect these two cables like this. And the other cable, I'm going to connect that to this port. And next thing we want to do is to connect this cable. So this part goes to the CPU cooler to here like this. And the other side will goes to this port on the motherboard. As you can see here, there is no hole here and there is no pin there. So you can just connect to like this. However, if we do that, it looks ugly. So I will take the cable back to the case. Next thing I would like to do is to install the GPU. However, before do that, let's take a slot here. Just move the slot to the top. Finally, I attempt to install the GPU. However, there is a problem. So I'm trying to install the GPU like in this way. So as you can see here, the CPU cooler blocked the way that I can install the GPU on the top of the case. Before installing GPU, one thing you want to remember is that push the parts so that when you install GPU, you can hear the click sound. This GPU requires 8 pins. So I'm going to install the 2 VGA cables to the power supply. Finally, we are done with building our own computer. For the GPU fans, I installed that on the top right, and for the fan that was installed in the right, I moved that to the left. As you can see here, I installed 2 A pins to the GPU. And next thing we want to do is to put the cover on this case and installing window.